Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I've been frantically trying to get ready here. I had something just before this. Still having a big slide. Yeah, I had something just before this. So yeah, I'm very rushed to get into this. I've had no practice getting the stream set up here, so I just want to get out for a lap before the qualifying session begins. I haven't even loaded up the proper setup that I want to use. So, yes, welcome to the stream. We're about to jump in for my first Le Mans Ultimate race, if you discount yesterday's practice race, which is very much a practice. Yeah, very much was a practice. Car setup. Let's load the actual setup that I want to use. I want to put the fuel up just a little bit. I think we're going to get 7 laps in qualifying, so I'll take this down to 7 laps. As I'm all over the place. I must say I am completely all over the place with how rushed I am getting ready here. So apologies. No. So yeah, qualifying's going to be starting very shortly. Yes, we've got a 90-minute race coming up. Tyre wear fuel usage is at 2 times, so that means we're guaranteed 3 pit stops this race, which is quite a bit for a 90-minute race. We have a grid of 33 cars, 21 Hypercars, and 12 GT3s. We are one of 2 Corvettes. And funny enough, we find the SROL Corvette on track in that one practice lap that we did. Oh, qualifying. Oh, I've pressing the wrong button. We've got a private qualifying session, so we will not be interrupted by any other cars. We have the track purely to ourselves. Which is quite nice. So we'll just try and get the tyres up to temperature here. You can see in the bottom left, they are quite cold. But we're quickly getting some temperature into them. You can see Mount Fuji in the background. Around the final corner now. To launch us onto our first flying lap. Down towards T1, big braking zone here. Relatively tight corner. Then hang up to, I believe this is 100R. Requires a lot of bravery, a lot of precision. Then we head into this long right-hander. Tightens up a bit here in the latter half, for then into this tight left-hander, which continues round on the exit. Opens up the possibility for some differing lines. Then down in towards the chicane. Can take a lot of carb. Now this final sector, very twisty. Love long corners that tighten up. It's our first flying lap here. A 41.8, just over 1.2 seconds off, puts us P6 currently. We can see we're gaining a lot of time already through T1 of this next lap, with the tyres being further up to temperature. Braver through the quick left-hander. I can see we're up nearly a second. 9/10 now, losing a little bit of time on the exit of this left-hander. Head down towards the chicane, an awful lot of carb there. Losing the rear end a little bit there, trying to get the power down. Try and get a good exit out of the final corner, which we did. Didn't gain much time in the final sector, still 9/10 up. I'll give us a 140.8, about half a second off the top spot now. Sitting in P5. Finding another 10th in T1. getting a better exit out of that left-hander. But we lost a little bit of time going in. So still about that 10th up. Finding a little bit of time in the final sector. No scoot of an exit off the final corner though. We'll be just over 3/10 up. Just about 2/10 on the outside of pole position currently. Puts us up to second though. Instantly back down to third. Very close here for P3, as you can see in the top left. I pushed a little bit too hard there through the left-hander. I think the tyres are starting to drop off now too a little bit. See a lot of cars returning to pits. See a BMW going to pole position now. We have the field for one more lap, so we might as well complete this final lap. If it's not going well, we will just make a practice pit stop. Drop down to P4 now. Lap trending the wrong way in the final sector here. So yeah, we'll just practice pit entry. I don't know if it lets you do a proper practice pit stop or not. But yeah, in the end, Just under half a second off the pole time. BMW taking pole position in GT3 class ahead of 2 McLarens. Yeah, P4 is not bad. We did beat 2/3 of the field, which I'm very happy with, especially given this is my first LMU race. A Alpine taking pole position in the Hypercar class. But yeah, Alpine, Chevy and Ferrari taking the top 3 spots in Hypercar. 2 seconds covering most of Hypercar. What have we got for... just over a second for most of GT3. Track was a very warm 42 degrees C for that qualifying session, which is probably one of the reasons why the tyre dropped off more in the latter laps. They're probably starting to overheat. I wasn't watching the temperatures, the tyre temperatures much, but I imagine especially that front left was overheating. Car setup. We want max fuel. Everything else, I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. So, yeah, we'll have to make do. Track is 42 degrees C as well, so it's going to be very warm. Very difficult on the tyres. So I think it's 12 seconds to change all 4 tyres. 5 seconds to change 1 tyre. That is one difference we have from ACC. On this is we don't have to change all tyres. We can just change 1 or as many as we like. We can select, this is the pit thing you can see. We can select, yep, change that tyre. We'll probably put new mediums on for all of the tyres. That will leave as is. Yeah, tyres. We'll probably mostly be watching the tyre data. It's a little bit annoying you can't have like tyre data up at the same time as the relative. It is a little annoying that those sort of two do clash. Oh. I think there's collisions here. I'm not a big fan of this starting graphic.
Green flag, green flag.
The fact it only shows when you're outside your position is a little bit annoying. We are away for the start. For some reason there's a hypercar behind us. Heading down towards T1. Tires are somewhat cold. Taking it very easy through T1. Great to see a clean start from the entire field. Well, was. Sending it around the outside of this McLaren. And getting the move done on the inside. Adds us up to P3. Now we know from yesterday's test race that we do have more grip than the McLarens, but they do have more straight line speed than us. Still got one hypercar, a Ferrari, if not more, having to pass us. So good opening lap here. Yeah, there's at least one more. Closed up a bit in the braking zone on the McLaren. This is one of the McLarens that we beat in yesterday's test race. So that is good to sort of know. We've got a nice gap to the cars behind. We can see one of the prototypes now. After the lap 1 incident. Coming back. Just sticking in the slipstream here. Big gap to the McLaren behind. Looks like they're really struggling on race fuel, or maybe they're going for a different strategy. Oh, a lot of cars pitting already. Interestingly. I feel like I've missed something if all of them have pitted. That's like got me real nervous. Purple middle sector. Oh, rear end just got away from me there, having to back up behind the McLaren to not run into the back of it. Welcome, Geeky. We're about 5 minutes into the race. We qualified P4. We're up to P3, but everyone else, apart from us top 3 in the GT3 field, have taken an early pit stop. So, couldn't tell you how this race is going yet. The strategy is certainly varied. Yeah, no worries, Skiki. It is good to have you around, whether you're chatting or just lurking. Fastest first sector. So you can see the Hypercars on the minimap are catching all the GT3s that pitted. 21 Hypercars is going to get very busy. Yeah, you're indeed correct. The McLaren here is sort of the main McLaren that we were fighting in yesterday's test race for what was the lead of that race. And now we've been fighting over P2 in this race. Again, we've been stronger in that final sector than the McLaren in front. They've been a little bit more defensive than they were in the test race. And again, they've shown that straight line speed as we set a purple middle sector again. McLaren's obviously concerned a little bit. Look at the slipstream that we're getting. Just pulling out to get cleaner onto the nose in the braking zone. Both of us taking big bounces off the inside curb there. We seem to be maintaining the gap to the first car that pitted. I really thought by going up the inside there, but thought it was too risky. I'm just going to think about pit stop now. Yeah. I think that's what we want. I've not done any prep in terms of figuring a strategy out for this race. It's completely winging it. McLaren very wide of the apex there. Prototypes now on our tail. Just very awkward Mandatory compound change? No, the GT3s only have one compound, plus the wet. The Hypercars do have a hard tyre and a medium tyre. But with LMU, just like in the WEC, you can mix and match tyre compounds. You know, you don't have to run them as complete sets. That's not nerve-wracking at all, having the Hypercars side by side as they come to pass us. BMW sending it in there. Fair enough, they were nice and committed. Didn't lose us too much time. Unfortunately, though, it has cost us a little bit of time, but not too much. A little bit of a break in the Hypercars here, but there will certainly be more approaching on this lap. But we've got to take the momentary cleaner to try and close back up to the McLaren. And look at that, we have 5 Hypercars all in a train. Oh, look at that, side by side, very awkward with the McLaren. Oh, side by side between the two Ferraris. Wheel to wheel contact. And the McLaren's going to be losing time from this too. That's going to help us close in just a little bit. McLaren had a big twitch there. And we've got the move done on the McLaren. That was sketchy, but I loved that. I've got to try and get a little bit of a gap for the start finish. Since we know how much more straight line speed that McLaren has. Hopefully that's enough of a gap. Seems to be. I'm still getting used to it, Artie. But so far, I mean, this is my first proper race. So, I'm enjoying it at the moment. It is certainly very different to ACC. At least for the GT3s, of course. I've only driven the Cadillac Hypercar for about 10 minutes, and it's a very alien experience, I must say. Cold tires are very unique. The way the car slides around in general is just very different to what I'm used to. But as I've turned more and more laps, I've begun more and more used to it, and I'm enjoying it. It is a little bit complex. It does take a little bit to get your head around the energy, because while you've got your fuel limit, you also have an energy limit. Even for GT3s, and getting your head around that can be a little bit difficult at first. One thing I would say is, I definitely think the base game is worth the price. It's about £26 at the moment on with the winter sale. And it's like, if you enjoy sim racing, then yeah, I would definitely recommend the base game. The season pass is a little bit expensive. It's £36 at the moment, £40 full price. You know, being more than the game price, it does feel a little bit expensive. So you can definitely get away with not buying the season pass. You know, but if you buy the game now, you try it and you're like, oh yeah, I really enjoy it, then, you know, you can think, oh yeah, I'll get it. But you can definitely have a good experience without buying the season pass. But of course, you'll then be missing out on a few tracks like Imola, Interlagos, and I think there's one more. As well as a few cars you'll be missing out on, like a lot of the GT3s. The McLaren GT3 is a free car, but the other three, Ferrari, BMW and Corvette that I'm driving, are not free. Prototype being very patient there. Maybe just not quite as confident. Won't be too long before we see the prototypes coming back towards us, but we will also be getting into the pit stops soon. 2 laps until we pit. One thing I find is trail braking is very important in this game. If you're not trail braking, you're... yeah, you're gonna be losing time. Trail braking is when you trail off the brake going into a corner. So rather than just coming off it in a single moment, you know, you slowly release the brake pedal as you turn in for the corner. Right, we have to hit this lap. One of the things you have to do in this game is request your pit stop. That'll be a little track cut warning as the prototypes are catching us once more. No, that didn't count as a cut. Now this will be my first in-race pit stop for LMU. So yeah, hopefully I don't mess this up. Welcome, Iris. Good to see you. Yes, we are at Fuji. 26 minutes into the race now. Oh, we had to get pushed back slightly. That could cost us sort of P2 here. Up for the tires. Ooh. Maybe that car maybe not taking tires. I stalled the car on exit. That loses us a bit more time. course, you gotta remember cool tires, which are very slidey on LMU. So those that came into the pits early on, coming into the pits now. And we'll get back past them. Yeah, we're 13 seconds back on the McLaren. We've got an Inception McLaren in front of us, which is a lap down. So it'll be interesting to see here if we can close down the McLaren, since we most likely have new tyres. We definitely have new tyres, and they most likely don't. They could have taken one set of new tyres, they may have taken a new front left, but then opted to keep the rest of their tyres the same. Trying not to slide up into the fray. The McLaren lets us through. So really, if we want to make up the time that we've lost, we need to be making up a second per lap. Cute when the prototypes go for the outside there. I think I did gain a second on the McLaren that lap. I see it's going side by side with the prototype into T1 just on the track map. Hopefully that costs them a little bit of time. Fastest final sector, new personal best lap. A little bit too much inside curb there. Looks like we're still gaining about a second a lap on the McLaren. Lost a bit of time there at the final corner. But still gaining that second a lap on the McLaren. Yeah, a bit of a slide there through the fast left-hander. They messed up the slow left-hander a little bit too. But only lost a 10th and a half up until the chicane. Yeah, I've got the main pack of the Hypercars coming through again. Gonna be a little bit tight here into T1. BMW judged that very well, as you would expect from Mr. Jimmy Broadbent there. I was still there. I don't know what damage is like in this game. But yeah, I definitely lost time on that lap to the prototypes. Doesn't seem to be any sort of damage indicator for me to tell if I do have damage or not. That is, I think that's the McLaren. It is indeed. Can see them in our sights now. We've got 5 more laps of this stint. 4 seconds to catch. Still more prototypes to come this stint. A bit wide there through the left-hander. A 3-second gap. So we've not quite been gaining a second in the last couple of laps, but not much that we can do about that. Prototype sparking its way down into T1. We've gained a second already though on the McLaren this lap, and we'll probably gain more time in this final sector. Oh, a little wide into the chicane. So gap now about 2 seconds, 3 laps left in the stint. Of course that McLaren could end up hitting a lap or 2 sooner than us. Depends how much fuel and energy they took on. That's 2 are they? Three-quarters of a track limit point. I mean, definitely far. Those 3 prototypes could end up holding the McLaren up. They could also hold us up going side by side through the chicane. Seems like the Ferrari was too cautious, didn't want to make a move on the McLaren. The Peugeot spun. The Ferrari being very timid there, costing themselves a lot of time and at least one position. We come on to start finish straight. right on the rear bumper of the McLaren. You can see the McLaren still pulling away a little bit. We should be better on the brakes given that we have the new tyres. And well, again, easy move done into T1. I say easy. McLaren's trying to come back at us. Partly to stop us from running away and building up a gap. A little bit wide there again. We'll be far enough to stay in front of the McLaren. We actually got a good launch off the final corner. BMW comes in a lap earlier. And yeah, with the fuel remaining, a pit stop is automatically called. I think we'll just run the same strategy again. It seems to have worked. We'll make our way into the pits. Oh, and the McLaren going out for another lap. Interesting. Hopefully I can hit my marks here. Seem to be brought forward a little bit. And away we go. bit hot into T1 with the cold tyres. Try and get up to speed quickly here. So we have cars in front of us into the pits, including the McLaren. Let's see where we come out in relation to the McLaren. Theoretically, they should technically beat us out of pit lane, but they haven't. Because, of course, we had a slow out lap on cold tyres, and we were slightly off in our pit box, which would have cost us by a second too. But being able to go that one lap longer will help the McLaren when it comes to the final pit stop. We'll have to do some on-the-fly math for how long the final stint will be. But I don't think we're going to take new tyres. I think 13 seconds is worth not taking new tyres for the final stint, because it won't be a full stint. You know, a full stint is like 24 minutes. We will hopefully only have about 10 and a bit minutes to the end. As we see more GT3 cars in the pits. Six-second lead on a McLaren. That's very nice. Car feels very good at the moment. I just want to build up as much of a gap as I can to cars behind. Just to try and make sure that whatever happens on the strategy, I can try and hold on to P2. 30 minutes left in the race. Eight-second lead to the McLaren. Definitely not going to be winning this race. 18.5 seconds back from the leader, but P2 very much is on. Wide. I'm surprised I didn't get any track cut warnings for that. Rear end wanted to step out there. I think I didn't quite get across the white line there at the exit of the curb in time, hence the little pop-up. Lost a bit of time in T1 though from being passed by that prototype. McLaren behind is certainly keeping us honest, which is good, you know. We're not just going to run into no man's land in second place here. You know, that McLaren is still right there. You know, depending on how strategy goes, we could still have a good battle for second at the end of the race. Let alone what the other cars might be doing. shouldn't be taking that much grass. Jumped up now to 9 seconds in front of the McLaren. Maybe they lost a bit of time with prototypes. Morning, Jesse. Good to see you. We're within 24 minutes of our 90-minute race here. Currently in P2 within the GT3 class. How does the simulator feel? It's definitely quite different to what I'm used to in a Corsa Competizione. Try not to take out Mr. Brabant. But yeah, it feels very different. The cars slide around very differently. That's the big thing, is how the cars slide. The slides are sort of much more gradual, I would say. And especially on cold tires, you notice it. Cold tires have a much bigger effect, much bigger grip loss than they do on ACC or even the original Assetto Corsa. So it has definitely taken me a while to adapt to. But the more laps I've done, the more it's made sense, the more comfortable I've felt with it. And the more I've been enjoying it. you know, when I was doing my first laps, I did feel a little bit lost. But having done a few hours of driving in it now, I do feel very comfortable. It just takes a little bit of time getting used to feeling how the car slides around. The rear end especially can very quickly come around on you here. You know, despite having traction control on these GT3 cars, they don't give you quite as much safety as you expect. You still have to be a bit careful on the throttle. If you just absolutely plant the throttle through one of the longer corners, like what you see in the final sector here at Fuji, the car will just spin round on you. And yeah, I suppose you could change TC settings to try and eliminate that, but it'll most likely slow you down, cost you performance in another manner. Curbs feel very aggressive, which I'm a fan of. You know, I love time in sim racing. Curbs are very easily abused. You know, you see it a lot that curbs in real life that aren't being used are trampled all over in sim racing. I don't think that's as much of the case here on LMU. The curbs have a much bigger effect, and you do have to respect them more, which is nice. It gives you that challenge, whereas before, yeah, they were just something you drove over, unless you had sort of slightly wonky physics, kind of like what ACC does. A little bit awkward timing there with the fry coming out of pit lane. Fortunately, it has cost us quite a bit of time. But yeah, the sim presents a good challenge. You know, even if you're really used to GT3 cars, something like ACC, it's still a new challenge to learn the GT3 cars on here. The strategy options are different. You know, you've got different tyre compounds in some cases, and even if you don't, you can, you know, tyres work as individual tyres, not tyre sets. You know, so you can change one individual tyre and leave the other three as is when you come in for a pit stop. And when you do have multiple compounds, like the Hypercars in this race have a medium and a hard compound tyre, you know, they can mix and match the mediums and hards. You know, have hard tyres on the front, mediums on the rear. And it's really great to have strategy like that present. That's not an ideal slide. Yeah, I'm not the best at describing things, I must admit. I've also got to focus down, do the calculation here for the final stop. Ooh, crash there between the BMW GT3 and the Porsche Hypercar. "15 minutes remaining. We have 2 more laps. That will take us 3, 4. So we'll have about 11 minutes remaining. I think that's going to be 7 laps, so I'm going to put 8 laps in just to be safe. Ferrari GT3's caught up to the back of us. That's unfortunate for them. Let's see what straight line speed the Ferrari has. Put that much energy in. We'll probably maybe have closer to 10 minutes when we come out of the pits. But of course we have to account for where the leader in the hypercar class is. More confident on the brakes than the Ferrari. Interesting to note. Annoyingly, that has cost us a little bit of time here. Joda Porsche off again. And we want to set so that we do not change tyres. Tyres are only coming up to 50% on the front left. So into the pits. Let's see if we can hit our marks here for the 3rd time. We've not done great so far at doing it. Oh, the BMW had to go in at an awkward angle there. I don't know why the game forced them to do that, but it seems like it did. We were brought forward slightly. We're filling up to 53%. So once the bottom right gets to 53, we can go. I think we've beat the leader And the nice thing is, because we didn't put new tyres on, the tyres are already up to temperature, so the BMW behind, if they have taken new tyres, which I think they might have, they're going to be sliding around on those cold tyres for a little bit. But then, yeah, when they get those tyres up to temperature, they're going to have much more grip than us, with those tyres being brand new. And they should easily catch up to pass us. The McLaren now in the lead for the race. We'll have to pit in a lap or two. But yeah, this race is on. I did not expect this race to be so close for the lead. I thought it might have been this close for P2, but this is for the lead now. McLaren that was in the lead has now pitted. We had a 10-second gap to them before we pitted. Their pit stop's going to be a bit quicker, because they don't need to put as much energy in to make it to the end of the race. We had a 10-second margin, so I think we should still come out in the lead. How much of a lead, though? I don't know. It looks like they're heading through pit lane now. We do get past them. And there they are in the background. I think they're fighting the BMW, which would be great news for us. If they can slow up that BMW, that would really benefit us. The McLaren has come out in P2. Interesting. That McLaren has tyres that are 1 lap newer than mine. Five minutes left in the race. The McLaren is on a charge. We've got 5 laps of fuel left, so we're definitely safe on fuel. The leader is just coming down towards the chicane now in the hypercar class. So I would say there's a very good chance that the leader that we cross the line after time has elapsed for the race, but before the leader has crossed the line to finish the race. If you look very closely at that BMW, you'll notice the two left-hand side tyres are different. The front tyre had a red marking on the sidewall, indicating it's a hard tyre, but the rear tyre had a yellow marking, indicating it was a medium tyre. Just showing the strategy, the mixed tyre compounds the Hypercars are running. Still got a 2 second lead to the McLaren. Looks like the BMW there made a mistake and lost a bit of time. Leader of the hypercar class is going into T1. They will have 2 more laps. And as such, as we come across the line here, we're also going to have 2 more laps. The BMW has dropped back. They're nearly 5 seconds back now. The McLaren, we've stretched the gap out by a tenth or 2 this lap. So the gap just over 2 seconds. As long as we don't make any mistakes, we should be able to hold on to this lead. But that is easier said than done in this game, especially when your tyres are getting more and more worn out. And we've still got a few hypercars to come past us. Oh, my wide there. Hypercar going slowly and forces me to drive around them at the chicane. That's really not ideal. That cost me a good half a second. If not more. Got another McLaren going slowly. I don't know if they're upping teamwork, but that BMW prototype now coming past thankfully held up the McLaren behind us for position just a little bit that lap. Final lap here. Another hypercar coming. Another 2 hypercars even. Just a second between us and the McLaren. Both us and the McLaren just a little bit deep on the brakes into the chicane. As a little bit wider through the right-hander. Final corner. We got a good exit, and the McLaren will not be close enough. We take the win. That was brilliant. That's a brilliant fight. I did not expect that battle to be for the lead in the end. It cuts off. I was going to do some donuts on the outside of the next turn. But, oh, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. I really did not expect that to be for the lead. You know, the BMW was driving away at the front. Obviously taking a different strategy, lost a lot of time in that final pit cycle. And that allowed us to, you know, we ended up in the lead. The McLaren was chasing us down there at the end. But yeah, we were able to hold on. What a race. You know, it wasn't the most thrilling ever in terms of side-by-side battles and whatnot on track, but it was a brilliant strategy race, you know, and we still had some good battles, you know, that McLaren 2 getting past them. Yeah, what a race. I enjoyed that so much. Wow. And yeah, I think definitely getting to grips with the game. Certainly this car and track combo. It's the only track I've driven on this game so far. Yeah, we had a few DNFs, one DQ as well. I seen someone saying they got DQ trying to serve a penalty on the Discord. Oh. That's 6 laps down on the leading hypercar. We didn't have fastest lap of the class. That went to the 4th placed Ferrari. We were just over a 10th off of that, though. We did have 2nd fastest lap in class. Oh. But yeah, what fun. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that so much. And if that's a taste for what this game can deliver, then I am so on board for more Le Mans Ultimate. It was so much fun. Yeah, and that being said, there are some more races. I have signed up for a couple more races this over the holiday period. On Monday, the 23rd, we will have a 75-minute race around Bahrain. This time, we're going to be in the LMP2 cars, so learning something a little bit different. Those LMP2 cars don't have ABS, if I recall correctly, so that'll be a new challenge to learn and adapt to. Then on the 28th of December, we will be going to Interlagos, this time back into the GT3 cars. For again another 90-minute race. I don't think this one has double fuel and tire wear this time though, so that'll be interesting. So might not have as much strategy there, but there'll still be some. There will still be some. But yeah, you might be able to take a set of tires a full race distance in that race. We'll have to wait and see. That's on the 28th of December, which is next Saturday, so in a week from now. And then on the 4th of January, going into next year now, we're going to have a 3-hour multi-class race 2 weeks from now at Le Mans. We are going to be in the LMP2 class again. I was hoping to get into the hypercar class for one of these races, but it's either for Bahrain on Monday. There is no hypercar class in that race. For the next 2 Saturday races, the hypercar class is all filled up, unfortunately. So no hypercar class there for us. But hopefully we will get into the hypercar class in a race at some point. Now to end off this stream, as usual, as we do on all our streams, we are going to run some Art of Rally. Where is my mouse? There it is. Yeah, we're going to run Art of Rally. We're going to run the daily and weekly event, as we normally do. Of course, we did the daily event yesterday after our Assault Corsa racing at Knockhill in the Aussie racing cars and a little bit of LMU practice. We finished down 76th, top 25%, couple of mistakes, a little bit messy at the start of that stage. So let's see what we have this time. We have a Group S car at Norway, a 4.5 kilometer stage on the tarmac. Now, yes, I did change to kilometers now. Car's not quite coming to mind. From seeing it. Opel Kadett. Yeah, I'm not as knowledgeable on my Opels. Car feels nicely balanced, handling very well. There's stage 156.2. That felt very clean. Very good. And yeah, that puts us 20th place, top 5%. That's a result much more like we were hoping for. Only 400ths off of P19. Oh, that's very close indeed. But yeah, very clean run, that one. Very enjoyable. So let's have a look now at the weekly event. We haven't done this in a couple of weeks ago. We did it. Finished 26th, top 4%, which is very good. Then we have this result, which apparently isn't working now. That was before the sort of patch. They'll update to fix it. Group B this time, so a little downgrade, but still here at Norway. 4.4 kilometer stage to start off with, and this is a Delta. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is a Delta. Lancia Delta. Onto the snow for this first stage. Bit of a cut there. Game less away with it. I kind of remember this stage a little bit. It's very technical. Bit of a contrast to previous stage we did on tarmac for the daily event. Have to be very careful of that crest there. Very nasty. Oh, I nearly hit that tree. 133.7, that felt very clean. Harmoni's not killing me right now. I don't know, just definitely the snow is definitely a little more straining on them, but yeah. But no, I can tell you, maybe just used to it a bit. Second stage here, we're back on that 4.5 kilometer stage that we did for the daily event. This time running in the other direction now. A little bit of a messy right-hander there. A little bit of a cut there. Felt like a very clean stage once again. 154.4 gets us up to 26th. Top 4%. Very good opening half here. Go on to some gravel now. Our third different surface. 5.1 kilometer stage here. Clean the car. No other repairs to be made as we've been nice, clean and tidy. Oh no. Oh, game, come on. Just running slightly wide to catch the tree there. Just put the car around into off the stage, and fortunately was just far enough for the game to be like, nope, right, that's you being reset. That jump was much bigger than I thought we'd be. Into that tree as well. Not as much grip here on the gravel. Final corner 215.0, that definitely could have been sub 210. And yeah, drops us down to 48th, top 10%. But let's see how far we can recover on the final stage here. 6.2 kilometers, so a bit more distance to try and help us recover. A little bit of a rough landing there. Judged that left-hander very well. That was more luck than skill, judging that left-hander. Let's finish 149.0. Another clean, good stage to finish off. Gets us back up to 43rd, top 5%. We Definitely could have been top 40 there. Definitely could have been top 40, potentially even top 30. It just wasn't to be that mistake in the third stage. Yeah, it was very good apart from that, but yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is in that regard. Um, yeah, that is yeah, a lot of fun there. But yeah, that's going to bring us to an end to today's stream. A lot of fun. The Mon Ultimate. I didn't really have any expectations for it. But it certainly made good first impressions. Very good first impressions. Um, yeah, what a race. It shows, one of the problems with ACC at the moment, especially with how long we've got into its life cycle, the strategy is very stale in ACC. It's very difficult to set a race up in a way that there are going to be multiple strategies. With the Mon Ultimate, it feels like there's so much more variety for possible strategies, for competitive strategies. We seen there, but in the first pit stop, me and the McLaren went two different ways, and we ended the stint, that second stint, how we ended the first stint. Both strategies were competitive. And that is great to see. Obviously, you could say, "Oh, my strategy won. I finished the stint ahead," but I was ahead from the previous stint. Not sure if you'll be able to handle the cold tires. You struggle with them in the F1 games. Yeah, that's fair. The cold tires are really bad. I mean, one of the things I have heard about ACC, from supposedly from real drivers, real life drivers, is that the game ACC is too generous with cold tires. They give you too much grip. And I could definitely see that. Like, especially when you get into the rain, you can run a slick tire into decent rain and not have that many problems. Like, yeah, the curbs are very slippery, but the curbs are always slippery in the rain. If you keep it off the curbs, the slick tires are very usable. Whereas from what I've heard in real life, no, that wouldn't be the case. You'd be absolutely dead. Um, which, I mean, lines up with the experience I've had on other sims like Gran Turismo 7, where I was like, if you watched the video I did of the daily races I did, you'll know, yeah, I did a race at the Nürburgring. It was mixed conditions. Using my ACC experience, I was like, oh, that rain, it's the lightest intensity according to the weather radar. On ACC, that's absolutely fine on slicks. It'll probably be fine here. It really wasn't. Started braking for T1, and the car didn't even get stopped before the wall at the end of the runoff, let alone the actually turning in for the apex. And obviously, I haven't tried wet weather in the Mon Ultimate yet, so that is still something to find out. When we'll find that out, how wet weather is, I don't know. I don't know exactly. We'll see. Maybe one of these 3 races we have coming up over the next couple of weeks will give us a demonstration, but there's obviously no guarantee on that. But yeah, cool tires. Obviously, when I went into the mindset of, oh yeah, cool tires, ACC, you can still push on them quite a bit. It's like, yeah, I really struggled. After having a bit of experience on them there, it's like you see, it's like, yeah, no issue. You just very much need to drive with the knowledge that, yeah, you're gonna slide around a lot more. You have to really drive under the car's limit because the tires just aren't there yet. And then once you've done one lap, then you can start to push. And even on your second lap, so your first flying lap, you won't be up to your your normal pace. You can push on your tire. You won't get the same lap time as you will after 2, 3 laps. Then you'll see, right, your deltas, coming down. You're getting up to your sort of best pace possible. But that's how it is in real life. You watch any series that doesn't have tire blankets, and it's like, yeah, it does take 3 laps to get the tires up to temperature. I mean, you look at Formula 2 even, and yeah, the drivers don't even attempt to push on the first flying lap in qualifying because they know the tires just aren't going to be there. And yeah, it's the same, whereas, in real life for the WEC, the cars don't go out there and do 2 laps. They do, like, they use a full 10-minute session just lapping round because it does take that long to get the tires up to temperature, and then obviously to keep, trying to extract the most, for the driver to get a lap in with no mistakes. It does kind of help that obviously they don't always have the pro drivers in qualifying. They sometimes have AM drivers in. Well, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure it's not always the pros that are qualifying in the GT3 class. At least in the prototypes, they are just all pro drivers. But all the GT3 cars in WCIRL are pro AM cars. There's pro drivers and there's AM drivers. There might also be silver drivers in there too. But yeah, sometimes it is the AM driver qualifying. And yeah, they will need those laps to try and get a clean lap in. So yeah, when I first started running laps on LMU, I said how the cars slide around felt very different. At first, it kind of felt like the cars were on like trolley wheels. I forget the actual name of the caster wheels. That's the name. That they were in just caster wheels with how the cars slid around. Especially with TC, I was really caught out by how easy it was to spin the car in the final sector of Fuji there, just getting on the power too early. And not like expecting a little bit of a slide. So yeah, it does take some getting used to, but when you do get used to it, it is good fun. Welcome back, Artie. We're just we're just wrapping up. I'm just talking a little bit about LMU. Yeah, so yeah, the sliding around, it does have like that. The Corvette, at least, I think quite a few of the cars have 3 TC settings. I think there's a lateral slip angle, a longitudinal slip angle, and then a par cut setting. So basically, one setting is how much wheel spin, how quickly should the TC kick in when the car has wheel spin. The second is how much should the TC kick in when the rear end is sliding sideways. And the third setting, the par cut, is how much par should the TC cut when it kicks in. That's quite complex. I don't think I'm ever going to fully understand that. I think I'm going to be sort of relying on others to help me in which direction to go there. But that's one of the regards of for anyone less experienced, any newer people to sim racing, there's a lot to learn, a lot to get your head around. Like those TC settings, the hybrid in the Hypercars too. You've got a regen map which affects how the car brakes. You've got a power map, which affects how much energy the car deploys. And when you change around those settings, it also changes how much fuel you use. So then you've got to adjust your fuel ratio within how much energy you've got in the car. It's very complex. Will take a bit of time to get your head wrapped around it. Luckily, on the like general setup wise, the Mon Ultimates, the developers, Studio 397, I believe, have partnered up with SimGrid and more specifically Coach Dave Academy to help provide more more tested setups. If you don't know, Coach Dave Academy, as sort of part of SimGrid, offer on one hand they offer sim race coaching for sim racing. They also provide setups for games like iRacing, ACC, maybe more as well. And with SimGrid partnering with LMU, they're now providing. Usually you have to pay for those setups, but now they're providing setups to LMU for free. And it's not a case of, oh, you have to go to a website to get them. They're there in game. You just press the Coach Dave Academy button and boom, you've got the setup that they've provided, which is nice. It's in a way that kind of feels a bit like ACC that has the safe and aggressive preset. The safe preset is based on a real life setup for the car, whereas aggressive is more based on what the developers have tuned for the car, what they feel like is a good setup. And which is why the aggressive setup is always quicker, because it's made with the game in mind and with its own little quirks in mind, rather than the safe setup being based on real life, not factoring in those quirks. And then that will help a little bit. How competitive those setups will be in the longer term, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm hoping the Coach Dave Academy setups at least are going to be somewhat competitive, like with the ACC preset, where it's like aggressive preset, where it's like, okay, you won't be the quickest with it, but you'll still be competitive. You'll still be fighting other people reasonably well with it. And so hopefully it's the same for this, and it's not a case of, oh yeah, you're losing like a second plus a lap just because you're not running a setup from from whoever, or you're not going in and tweaking your own setup to suit yourself. I mean, there's definitely time to be fine, adjusting TC settings to how you want them, and other stuff like that. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, I've from what I've experienced today, I have faith in the game. That yeah, I'll continue to enjoy it. We'll see how the next 3 events go. Reminder: we've got an event on all evening UK time, starting 8 p.m. UK time. I believe. For all 3 of these races coming up. On Monday, we've got 75-minute race at Bahrain. In the LMP2 class, on next Saturday, we have a 90-minute race around Interlagos in GT3s. And then in 2 weeks' time, we have 3 hours of racing around the Mon in the back in the LMP2 class. So yeah, we have a lot of good racing to look forward to there. There may be the odd other stream. There might be some WRC too. WRC too. Some EA WRC tomorrow in the afternoon. Not sure. Gonna see how I feel tomorrow. But yeah, possibly get that back on the menu for one last one last bit of rallying action before Christmas. But we'll have to see. Got a couple of things to do before tomorrow afternoon to sort that out. If there's any final questions about LMU, bearing in mind the race today is pretty much the majority of my experience. I've done like 5 laps in a hypercar, the Corvette to be specific, or the Chevrolet, around Fuji as well. Fuji's the only track I've driven. So, yeah, any questions, I'll give a final couple of moments for if anyone wants to ask any. But yeah, we're coming up to 9:30. So if there aren't any questions in chat, we will wrap up here. So yeah, yeah, fun race again. I'll not spoil it at this case in case anyone has come in late. Good race, good strategy race. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next few races we have coming up. But yeah, it doesn't look like there are any questions in chat, so we will wrap up here now. Yeah, it's been a good stream. Good to see a good few people out watching stream today. Geeky, Artie, Iris, Jesse. Thank you all for coming out for stream today. Of course, thank you to anyone else too that was lurking in the background as well. Hope you all enjoyed. Reminder, appreciate you all for being here. Hopefully we'll get stream tomorrow, as I said, on WRC, the World Rally Championship game. If not, we will definitely be back on Monday evening for some racing at Bahrain. Hopefully I will see as many of you there as possible for that. But if I don't, have a good holiday, have a good Christmas period. I'll hopefully then see you back next Saturday as well when we go racing around Interlagos. Yeah. And yeah, is there anything else? Nope, that is it. So yeah, again, thank you everyone very much for watching stream today. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening and have a good Sunday. And yeah, I'll maybe see you tomorrow and definitely on Sunday if not. But yeah, till then, thank you very much for watching and bye bye.